And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live Q&A here on the Film Stock channel. I never get sick of saying that, but hope you're all doing well. It is Wednesday, August 6th, 6 p.m. on the dot. First time in a while I've started a stream right on the money, and it feels good to do that. So hope everyone is doing well. This is a Q&A/Hangout. So the gist of it is we're hanging out for like an hour to hour 30. Answer as many questions as I can. So fire off your questions now. Let's talk movies, shows, movie news, food, theme parks, sports, whatever you want. Fire off your questions now. I will get to as many of them as I can. I will not be able to get to them all, however. So super chat is the way to go to guarantee I can get directly to your question, comment, concern. Any support goes a very, very long way. But I think that pretty much covers it when it comes to, intro stuff that I do here on the streams. I've got my water. You'll see me take a lot of water breaks, and I've got a Sprite Zero. Normally, I go Dr. Pepper break, Dr. Pepper Zero break. Guess what we've got? Sprite Zero this time. Refreshing, honestly. Nice little change of pace. So that's what we're rocking with tonight. But thank you guys for being here. And that's really all I got for you. Let's get the questions going. Let's fire them off. Here we go. Jelly Gaming was in here. Hello. What do I think of them using practical swinging in Brand New Day? I'm so here for it. Everything I've seen about Spider-Man Brand New Day excites me greatly. I don't want to overhype any movie or show ever, but in some cases I feel valid in doing so, and I'm going to ride the hype train for this movie. I'm going to do it. I'm confident in everything, every new piece of casting news, every creative decision they've made, from the suit design to the way they're shooting it on location with, practical stunts. I could not be more excited, more thrilled as a fan of Spidey. And so lots of potential for that movie. Everything I've seen, I'm here for. Currently rewatching Stranger Things. There you go. I actually am rewatching season 2 right now over on Patreon, doing the Stranger Things Rewind. We're on season 2 now, and we filmed 2 today. We're really ramping that up now. And man, let me tell you, season 2, it's a really fun season. And I historically have had it ranked at the bottom of my rankings, but that has never been a shot at it. It's just, hey, one of them has to fall at the bottom. And every time I revisit that season, I have a newer appreciation for it, and I'm really enjoying where we're at with that right now. Ginger with the side of Ninja says, I actually loved the new Wednesday season. I don't care what people are saying. I have a review out right now, and I honestly enjoy the season quite a bit. I actually haven't seen what the reactions or reviews are. I only know how I feel, really. I haven't sought out anything else. So it was only half the season. I'm enjoying it thus far, especially the mid-season episode. The mid-season finale, which is episode 4. And, I'm here for it. I really am. I don't know if it's as strong as season 1 yet. I think it's too early to make that call. But once we see the back half of the season, I think it'll really kind of open our eyes to the bigger picture. And the mystery's just starting to unravel. Some crazy things are going to go down in the back half. I mean, chaos is ensuing, right? And so I'm looking forward to whatever they have in store for us with part 2. I will say, I don't know if Wednesday's a show that's suited for the 2 parts. I feel like most Netflix shows actually aren't. It's just the model they've adapted, and so every show ends up having to split for some reason. By the way, Super Chat guarantees I get your question, comment, concern. It's a huge way to help support the channel. There will not be any spoilers for Wednesday Season 2 in the stream, so don't worry. I won't spoil anything. If I see something in the chat, I won't put it on screen. I may talk about it, but I won't spoil anything. Will, hello. Bella Draws, hello there. Leanna, what's good? How you doing? Welcome. We got a Super Chat already from Gavin. Gavin, the man, asking consistently. I always say Gavin asks the best questions. If you think you can beat Gavin, let me know. Keep Watch Burn. You got LA crime films, Nightcrawler, Collateral, Drive. I may have a hot take here. I know a lot of people adore Drive. I've seen it one time, and when I watched it, I went in thinking it was going to be one thing. It was something entirely different. That's on me. But I've never been able to view that movie the same because of that. And it was a very wild experience. I did not expect it to be what it was. And so it's my least favorite of those 3. I'm going to burn that one. I'm sorry. I know that upset someone probably. I'm keeping Collateral all day. That movie is damn heat to me. And it's funny because it's directed by Michael Mann, who also directed Heat. Collateral rules. It's Tom Cruise in a darker sort of villainous role. And it's that nighttime LA. That's the movie of those 3 to me where LA actually plays the biggest role. And then Nightcrawler I'm watching because I don't know how rewatchable Nightcrawler is. It's very unsettling. I think it's maybe Gyllenhaal's best performance. I actually give the edge to Prisoners, personally, but still, that's my order. So I'm keeping Collateral, watching Nightcrawler, Burning Drive. Thank you for the super chat, though, man. Hope all's well. And always asking the goated questions. Hello there, F4 or Thunderbolts? I lean Thunderbolts. I prefer that movie, I think. I've seen Thunderbolts one more time. So I've seen Thunderbolts three times, and I've seen F4 once. And I lean Thunderbolts. I think it might have a little more rewatchability. I might like the sort of unconventional team-up turned family dynamic by the end more than what we get Fantastic Four, but I like both movies quite a bit. Both, to me, are wins for the MCU. Am I upset that Xavier did not return for Wednesday season 2? If we're talking just characters, of course I would have wanted to see more of that character. But the reason the character didn't return is because of off-screen issues with the actor. I actually haven't done my research on that fully, but that actor did not return for reasons that you guys can look into. But of course, if we're talking just the character, yeah, I would have liked to see more Xavier. But I think a while ago, almost 2 years ago, news came out that he wouldn't be returning for the next season. So we kind of knew that one going in. Scotty J says, hi, Chris. Well, hello there to you. Hot take, Jaime is the best Game of Thrones character, even though his arc was ruined. I would say if you were talking heading into season 8, I wouldn't be mad at this take at all. Jaime Lannister had a phenomenal arc, in my opinion, and he was in like a top tier character to me coming into that final season. But they did massacre his character pretty badly. In one or two moments, I was like, you've gone back on everything you've built up. It disgusted me to my core. Truly awful moment. I know, I don't want to spoil it, I guess, but horrible regression for that character. Sprite Zero break. Delicious. Danny asks, are you watching Weapons this week? I don't plan to see Weapons. I'm not a huge horror fan. I like horror movies, but I never really seek them out in theaters because I don't have anyone who would want to go see a horror movie in theaters with me around here. Truly. Cam will watch the occasional horror flick with me, but a lot of times it just depends. I got a friend who actually had mentioned it, but I don't see myself getting around to it this week. I don't. Yeah. So, and for me, August has always just been such a transitional month for movies where you've got May, June, July, where big hitters are coming out. August is where you kind of slow down, and then September is really a lull. So I hope to watch Weapons eventually. I don't know. In terms of horror movies, there's online especially, there's usually waves of hype for a lot of horror movies that come out, and it's been the case with I think most horror movies this year. A lot of them, at least, they get really, really hyped up, and I don't buy into the hype a lot of the times. I think there are great horror movies that come out, obviously, but I don't want to buy into any hype I see for this movie because why should I? I don't know. I just don't want to build up some crazy expectations for a movie that was never really on my radar. So I'll watch it eventually, but I mean, yeah, most horror that comes out this year has been really, really hyped up now that I think about it. And I liked Bloodlines. That was really hyped. Bring Her Back was really hyped. Sinners is really hyped. This is being hyped. So we'll see if I ever get around to it or not. Let's see. Zach says, what's up, man? Enjoyed Wednesday season 2, part 1. Also looking forward to college football. Go Buckeyes. OH. I will not be finishing that sentence, but yeah, I'm really pumped for college football. It's been occupying my mind as of late. I've been watching old highlights of Georgia games. I've got the bug when that's what I'm doing. And I've been doing that in my free time. I've been starting to watch more of the talking heads, as I call them, for college football, just to fill the time and consume some sort of college football media. So it's that time of year for sure. We're only, 24 days away from at least my team playing Georgia. That's the 30th. So yeah, that's right. But we've got, week 0 coming up soon. Nothing too exciting, but still, college football is almost back. All right. Aaron, hello. Hello there. How you doing? Ned Stark is a top 6 Game of Thrones character. No argument from my end. And he, even with the screen time he doesn't have, right? He's not in the show all that much. He's a goated character. MoveFan 2002, the super chat. Thank you. Chris, did you hear about Hamilton? Of course I did. It was one of the first things I saw when I woke up this morning. Great news. I mean, Hamilton is one of the first musicals for me that got me into musicals, I would say. I remember when I was in, what year was it? It was senior year, junior year of high school. It really caught the scene. That was like 2016, 2017. And my US history teacher would play parts of it. And that was the jam, honestly. And it's funny because I laughed at it at first. I was like, what is this? 17-year-old me was like, this is kind of goofy. Then I would listen to a song sort of ironically in the car with my friend that I drove to school, who was in that class with me. And so we'd be kind of like poking fun at it, being like, yeah, Hamilton, woo. And then I kind of bought into it. And then Cam really put me on to Hamilton. And I ended up like memorizing every word to most of the songs. Obviously, when it dropped on Disney Plus, I believe that was the summer of 2020. That was a big deal. And it was just a wild time, like that whole Hamilton era. I've seen the Disney Plus play it a handful of times, but I listen to that soundtrack often. I'm much more of an Act 1 to Act 2 fan if we're talking, acts, I guess. I mean, Act 1 is, of most musicals, I prefer to Act 2. But man, I know a lot of the lyrics, and yeah, I saw they're dropping it in theaters I believe it's for 10 years of Hamilton, I want to say. So that's in September. I'll probably try and go, to be honest, with Cam. I'll probably try and go see that on the big screen because Hamilton, it rules. It rules. Need I say more? It's awesome stuff. Let me take a Sprite Zero break. Lena says, do you think Will have powers? I do. I'm fully bought in on this. And like, we deep dive into this a lot on my Patreon with Stranger Things Rio, into series we do. And in season 2, especially, I'm like, it's been, the writing's been on the wall for a hot minute. Do I think the Odyssey will be top 5 Nolan? I think, again, I'm trying not to fall in the trap of overhyping things, but let's be honest here, guys. With the cast, with it being an adaptation of one of the foundational pieces of literature in the world, I have a pretty damn good feeling it's going to be top 5 Nolan. Now, what would that mean? That would mean that it would have to edge out, because what is my top 5 Nolan right now in no order, I would say, are Inception, Oppenheimer, Prestige, Dark Knight, and I'd probably say, I mean, there's another that I'm forgetting that's in that top 5 for me. I'm a big Tenet fan, but I know most people aren't. I mean, Interstellar we'll throw in there for this conversation. It'd have to be better than one of those movies. I think it can be better than one of those movies, if not all. I think the Odyssey could be a generational film. And I know we said that about Oppenheimer, but I want to believe that he's going to absolutely cook with this movie. And so we'll see. I really am. I'm starting to buy in, and I've been bought in. It's Nolan. Anything he does at this point in his life, I'm there. I'm there. So really looking forward to that movie. That's my most anticipated for 2026. Spoilers for my most anticipated list. But no, I'm really looking forward to that movie. Got a handful of super chats here. Thank you guys from Isaiah's Everything. Appreciate that. Thank you for the generous super chat. Hey, Chris. Excuse me. Hold on. There we go. I had to burp. Apologies. Hey, Chris. Hope your week is going good as always. Stranger Things coming to an end. What was it that made you fall in love with it? Characters? Storylines? Maybe something you find relatable or nostalgic? Great question. So what made me fall in love with Stranger Things, certainly when it first came out, was the 80s nostalgia of it all. And the, feeling like I didn't grow up in the 80s. Obviously, I was a teenager in the 2010s. Like, I was in high school from 2014 to 2018. And so, watching Stranger Things at that age, in a way, it kind of romanticizes the 80s a bit and just like makes you feel nostalgic for your own childhood, at least growing up. And for me, I was able to fortunately grow up in a neighborhood where I played outside a lot growing up. Like, we played cops and robbers on our bikes, and we would play, like manhunt and hide and seek and all these outside games, pickle, all these things where we're running around running around on our bikes, running around the neighborhood. And I had like a bunch of neighbors around me who were around my age, and I was one of the younger ones. But, we played outside a lot and had a lot of fun and made memories. That's how I grew up. Very, fortunate that was the case. And so watching a show about kids hanging out in the neighborhood, and they've got this camaraderie, but it also brings in the sort of nostalgia of the 80s. You combine that with a love for like Spielberg films and the sense of adventure, but also like a sci-fi horror element. it all was just, it was the perfect combination, in my opinion. I watched it at a perfect time in my life when I was actually going, summer of 2016 when it came out, I was heading into my junior year of high school. So it was between sophomore and junior year. And it was a perfect time for me to watch the show. At that time, especially, we hadn't really had anything like it. And so it really did feel like an extension of a Steven Spielberg project. And then it turned into its own thing and they built out the whole world. But what really sold me on that was, I guess, the escapism of it all, the longing for the sense of childhood in a way. I'll say it. Like, there's something about waking up at the age of 11, hanging out with your friends all day, playing outside, not having to worry about paying the bills, not having to worry about anything really even school related at that point. It was just ignorance is bliss. Is that what they say? I mean, you had no cares in the world. And I felt like watching that show for 45 minutes to 50 minutes per episode was an escape into that. Of course, the characters, play a major role. The soundtrack, the score, all of the technical elements, the filmmaking of it all, it's all brilliant, and that sucked me in. But the atmosphere that Stranger Things created, it's like a blanket, a warm blanket. And that really is what initially sold me on the show. And it is certainly, I would say, nostalgia plays a major factor in that. But it's not a nostalgia for the 80s because I didn't grow up in the 80s. It's a nostalgia for like my own childhood, viewing my experiences through these characters, in a sense, living vicariously, if you will. It's a special show, really. And I don't think we'll have another like it in terms of timing. I mean, I'll never be able to watch a show for the first time at the age of 16 and then be 26 when it ends. Wow. Or yeah, when it technically ends, I'll be 26 years old. That's insane. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've grown up with the show. Everyone has who's watched it from the beginning, and the cast obviously have, but it's just become an important part of my life, especially over the last 3 or so years with the creation of my YouTube channel and covering that. That's created this whole other community that wasn't around when I started watching the show. So yeah, I love the show truly. And it was easy to fall in love with, in my opinion. And it'll be hard down the line because I'm assuming they're going to stick the landing. It'll be really hard down the line to top that or to have another experience like this. So to me, it's special. It really is. But no, thank you for the super chat. Getting all nostalgic here. We got another super chat here. I love the username. Do you play video games? If so, which video game is your favorite? So I'm not a huge gamer by any means. I'll dabble from time to time. The last game I really got into was CFB 25 because we had, a 10-year drought, almost 11-year drought of not having that game. Excuse me. And so it was nice to finally have a college football game to play. I was playing that for months last summer into the fall. As of late, I've really been on hiatus from video games, but over my life, I've played a lot. Some of the standouts, the highlights to me have been the Uncharted series, The Last of Us, the Batman Arkham games were huge. I would play that so much, I almost got nauseous. And I especially finding those Riddler trophies. And then I played Spider-Man PS4. Those are all standouts to me. Another one I enjoyed was Jedi Fallen Order. I never played the new Jedi game, though. Jedi Survivor, is that what it was called? I never played that one, but I need to. But yeah, I have played a lot of games over my life. The Lego games, like every single version. Indiana Jones, Pirates, Star Wars. But I'm not a gamer at all. Let's have a Sprite Zero break, by the way. Thank you guys for sending the super chats. Thank you guys for being here. We got almost 100 people in here. Hit that like button. Helps out a lot. Boom, do it. Helps out a ton. Delicious. Tom's new suit certainly looks wonderful. Might be the best live action suit we've seen. I need to see it in action first, like in the movie itself, though. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes score, audience score for Wednesday season 2 is kind of low. I wonder why. What is the audience score? I had no idea. Chris, who's the best Spider-Man in your opinion? Look, it depends on the day, and I mean that. I'm not using that as a cop-out. Like at one point in my life, I've said that every live-action Spider-Man, one of them is the best. There's been a point where I've said Tobey's the best, Tom's the best, Andrew's the best. I think as of today, oh man, it's so brutal. It's such a brutal question because I'm not like, as of today, I'm not like passionate about one or the other because I think they're all great for different reasons. This isn't a case of there being one that's just abysmal and one's, oh, that's the clear best, that's the clear worst. Like with Batman, for example, there's clear, like George Clooney. What are we doing? You know what I'm talking about? But then you've got, oh yeah, Bale is great, Pattinson's great, Michael Keaton. Like, it makes sense. It's like comparing the top 3 Batmen. They're all great for different reasons, and they all bring something different to the role. So it's difficult. Who's the best? I mean, gun to my head, I think I'm going to take, let's see. I think I'm going to take Andrew. And I mean that. I think I'm going to take Andrew, honestly. And that's my answer. I'm going Andrew Garfield. I think that his quits, when he's in a suit, especially post No Way Home, he's so damn charming. In terms of like Peter Parker, it's like I lean more Toby, but they are all the same character. So yeah, let me take care of this really quickly. Either is fine. Cam's at the grocery store. Okay, apologies for that. Okay, anyway, back on track. My bad. We got another super chat here. It's from Cam. What mustard do I get at the store? I texted it to you. That's hilarious. Anyway. Oh my goodness. What's your favorite Avengers movie? My favorite Avengers movie is Avengers Infinity War. And it's not really, it's that and then Endgame. And I view them as one whole movie. Again, I don't know if, I don't think Infinity War will ever be topped as my favorite, though. Even with Doomsday, even with Secret Wars, even 20 years from now, with whatever they do, I'm leaning Infinity War to the end of time. I really do. It's 3:35 a.m. here. Wow. Thank you for being here. I know it's the middle of the night. Damn near the next, I mean, you're almost up for the workday at that point, right? Yeah, I appreciate you being here. What time is it for everybody? I know it's 6:22 p.m. where I am. Let me take a sip of this Sprite. Delicious. Carlos says Wednesday season 2 volume 1 is out. That it is. I have a review on the channel right now. Chris, when do I think Thunderbolts will be out on Disney Plus? Let's see. Captain America: Brave New World came out in February. I believe it hit Disney Plus in June. So March, April, May, June. That's about 4 months, right? Thunderbolts came out in May. So we'll go, let's see, June, July, August, September. Probably Labor Day weekend. So in about a month. I think it'll be on there for Labor Day weekend. That'd be smart. So I'll go with that. I'll go September. Did they hit on Friday or Tuesdays? I don't remember. I'll go September. No, I think Lilo and Stitch actually just got announced to be that day. So that might not be the movie. I think, maybe maybe mid-September then. We'll go mid-September. It'll be on Disney Plus. Hawkins Bowling Alley says, if you could only watch from one streaming service for the rest of your life, which would it be? I would say Netflix. And I know that might be, a lot of people have turned on Netflix as of late because a lot of the original streaming movies, but I'm thinking original shows. You've got Stranger Things, you've got Wednesday, you've got Squid Game, you've got Outer Banks, you've got Cobra Kai, you've got Ozark, you've got Peaky Blinders on there, which I haven't even seen, but it's on my watch list. You've got, let's see, tons of other stuff, reality TV especially. Then you get into movies, and you have a pretty great selection of pre-existing films. Does that make sense? So I'm not talking about your original movies, but they technically have The Irishman and Marriage Story. But you get like the Fear Street trilogy on there. You got a lot of cool stuff. And so it really just depends. It depends. But what would another answer be? My other answer would probably be HBO Max, just because they've had some high quality stuff. I mean, you got Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, all the DC stuff, Sopranos, which I haven't even seen, but it's on my list. So Succession is on there. And these are things that obviously were on HBO, but then kind of coincided with the streaming service. So I'd go Netflix just because, I mean, it's the OG. I'm going to put some respect on the OG's name. I'm going to do that. All right. Where was I in the chat? Lost my spot. Good Sprite, by the way. Where was I? Why does this always happen to me? There I was. We actually have a super chat real quick from Ender Void. What are top 5 favorite shows / movies? So I get asked this a lot, and the answer is always changing, but it's so tough to answer on the spot. Normally, I throw some rounds out. I'll give you my 5 favorite movies, though, in no order, okay? Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is the first Indiana Jones movie. Back to the Future. I will go Remember the Titans, The Social Network, and that 5th spot really rotates a lot. I will say, I'll throw an animated one. I'll go Ratatouille or The Lion King. Flip a coin. So there you go. Favorite shows, I'm going to say Stranger Things. I'm going to say favorite shows. It's so tough because you got all the different genres. Like, do I want to throw a sitcom in there? Do I want to put a comic book show in there? Do I want to put a serious drama in there? It's difficult. But I mean, Stranger Things is very clearly one. After that, I would say I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do a duo of shows. I think they are one mega show. I'm going to go Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul in there as well. I'm going to throw a bone to... Look, one of the biggest like haunting things in show history to me is Game of Thrones fumbling the ending. If they had stuck the landing, like truly, and they had a great ending for that show, it's up there for number 1, arguably. Like, I watched that show so many times leading up to season 8. Like season 1 through 7, I showed it to I was just on that train. I could not wait for season 8. And it just disappointed me so greatly that it crushed my soul. So if that, I don't know. It's weird to weigh that out because 7 seasons I adored, 1 season I didn't care for at all. Very strange relationship, me and Game of Thrones. But so I won't say that one. So I'll go Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Stranger Things. I'll throw It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on there for a sitcom. That's the one that I've been drawn to the older I've gotten. I started that in 2023, watched through it all. I'm currently watching the new season as it comes out. And so I'd say that's the one that I quote a lot with my friends when we're hanging out. My For You page on TikTok, I mean, it's constantly clips of that show. And it's like a very mature show, like R rating, you know what I'm talking about? But it has my like sense of humor to a T in terms of the satire elements, but the dark humor as well. It's a riot. It's not a laugh track show. Like, there are types of sitcoms, right? How I Met Your Mother is like a comfort show. You know, it has your laugh track. Seinfeld as well. This is a lot different from that. It's more of my sense of humor. So I would say that's in there for the sitcom as of late. Oh, man, it's hysterical. And then that's it. We'll say that's it. We'll just, You know what? I'll say that a recent one I finished, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it. And same thing. It lives on my For You page. It's a show that I have started to quote with my buddies and just talk about. Like the other month, I went on a little weekend trip with some friends, and like we were talking about the show for like an hour in the car. Succession. It's really skyrocketed on my list, so I'm glad I finally gave that time of day. But yeah, that's just me rambling. My rambling is done now. Thank you for the super chat. We got another here. Top 3 favorite Stranger Things quotes / lines. Ooh, let me take a sip of Sprite. You pose a good question here. Well, I got some from my notes today. I'm going to use those to cheat. Obviously, I have, I think there's a ton of iconic ones that aren't necessarily my favorites. I'll tell you some. I'm actually going to pull straight from my notes for Stranger Things Rewind that I took. This is a heater line right here. Let me make sure I find it real quick. This is a heater line right here. It's from Jonathan of all people, and it's in the first episode of season 2. The thing is, nobody normal ever accomplished anything meaningful in this world. That's a great quote from the show. I mean, damn great in my opinion. But obviously that's not one that you're just going to like throw around in conversation. You know what I mean? That's a lot deeper. Let me think. That's just that one that stuck with me very recently upon this rewatch. I'm trying to think of like just off the top of my head funny quotes from Stranger Things. Oh, one that I also like from season 2 not a top 5 quote or 3 quote or anything. It's when Nancy and Steve are at Barb's house eating KFC. His finger looking good. That always gets me. Just him saying the motto out of the blue always makes me laugh. Honestly, and I mean this, Joyce Drive is one that I say often, and I get a real kick out of. Murray's whole spiel in the road, I think it's near the end of season 3 as well, when he's in the back seat and he's like, spare me, spare me, spare me. That's great. Erica has some hilarious one-liners. So, I mean, you could pick tons of different quotes. Totally Tubular is like a quick one-liner type thing, like that you could just pull from it. There's so many from the show if you kind of dive into it. Melissa with a super chat says, when do you think Stranger Things 5 press tour will begin? I actually would have to look at when they've started for other seasons, but if I had to guess, they'll really ramp things up in mid-October probably, because, or maybe like it kicks off with Stranger Things Day. That's like the launch point for all of the press and all, the YouTube videos of the cast going on, like, and with puppies and all that, I'm talking about. Someone will probably go on Hot Ones, you know what I mean? So we'll just have to see, but I would say for sure Stranger Things Day, which, by the way, is 3 months from today. Think about that. September, October, November, 3 months from today is Stranger Things Day. How about it? We're getting there, people. We're getting there. Network 98 with a super chat. Network 98 is a longtime subscriber who's kept the hashtag the Craving going in every single stream for as long as I can remember. And the question is, in this parallel universe, what did you think of Joe Keery, Sarah Hyland, Devontae Adams, and Pete Davidson's performances in The Craving? Also, what if NBC made a Jeopardy but YouTubers edition? So to answer the back half of this question, don't they have Pop Culture Jeopardy? Is that a thing with Colin Jost? I've never watched it, but I think it is a thing on Amazon Prime Video. So they kind of already have that. I'm not saying like YouTubers are on it only, but I'm saying that's like a pop culture based thing. But regarding the first part, anything Joe Keery's in, I mean, if they actually made a Taco Bell The Craving movie with Joe Keery, I don't know. Could it be shot in the style of Spree, where it's like through cameras and phone cameras and, dash cams? It's about an Uber driver late night. And then so it's Joe Keery as an Uber Eats driver or DoorDash, pick your preference. And he gets a late night call, like a 1 a.m. Taco Bell DoorDash order. And he ends up going to this guy's house. Turns out the dude had killed someone. And so the guy, it turns into Collateral, essentially, with Joe Keery as a Taco Bell, specifically Taco Bell only DoorDash driver. And now he's got Pete Davidson as a psycho in the back of the car telling him, hey, you got to make these stops around, Indianapolis, Indiana. Don't know why I pulled that one out, but there you go. Wild time right there, let me tell you. Sounds like an SNL skit on drugs. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. We've already been 30 minutes. Hit that like button, helps out immensely. And let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. I'm gonna have a sip of this Sprite Zero. Quite tasty. All right. Where was I in the chat? I was somewhere in the chat. We'll find my spot. Okay. Let's do a speed round. You guys like when I do that? I do. It's fun. It's a good way for me to catch up in the chat. Again, super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get your question, comment, concerns. But this is going to be a good way for me to get to as many as I can. Natalia says, I've been watching since last year. Well, thank you for continuing to watch, Natalia. I got lots of fun things coming, especially, obviously, as we approach Stranger Things, but beyond Stranger Things 5. There's lots of goodies coming to the channel. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for college football? I'm super ready for some Buckeye football. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'd say 10 for sure. It's there. Once we get to August and it starts creeping up on me, I'm like, it's time. It is beyond time. And so, yeah, I'm ready. I need it in my life, and it makes the week flow better because I'm like, Saturday, I know I can watch Georgia, and like that's what I'm going to be glued to my TV pretty much all day, just enjoying the few months of the year we actually get the best sport. So pumped for it. Mills Swifty says, favorite episode so far of Wednesday season 2. Gotta go episode 4, the mid-season finale. I'm a sucker for any sort of finale or like I said, a mid-season, any of that hits you with a bit of a cliffhanger. And I think that's the one where, okay, plot lines started to converge. It felt more focused. There are some plot lines, subplots that we'll say that are a little all over the place this season, sort of, but I think it all converged really well in that episode. So hopefully, as we move forward into the back half, we got a lot of momentum. You know what I'm saying? Do I get any of these Stranger Things Squishmallows? If not, will I? I actually don't have any Stranger Things Squishmallows, but I have Squishmallows, so I'm not like opposed to them. They're kind of comfortable. I think I have a Sully one, Sully from Monsters Inc. What a guy. What episode will be the weakest of Stranger Things season 5? You pose a good question. If we're looking at trends here, I feel like normally the consensus, like weaker episodes, are probably going to be either episode 2 or 3 of the season. But I'm pretty confident that the finale and the premiere are going to rule. Penultimate's going to be awesome. Episode 4 and 5 are technically like ends and starts to volumes. So, I mean, it's either going to be episode 2 or 3 that's probably going to be the weakest. But even then, it feels weird to say that because I'm not confident. I think they're all going to be great, is what I'm trying to say. Fried pickles all the way. What a great appetizer. What's the origin of the Film Stocked channel name? I love original questions like this. And then we got some super chats. I see you guys. I'm about to get to those right now. So I guess a lot of you guys probably don't know this anymore. I started Film Stocked as an Instagram page. And so I posted exclusively like movie clips and movie stills. And it was never my face. I started this in December of 2018. And then from December to June of 2019, I just had an Instagram page. Well, eventually I said, I built a pretty decent following over there. And if I'm remembering correctly, it was 9,000 followers or something. It was pretty cool. And so I said, I'm going to make a YouTube channel out of this. And so I started a YouTube channel and I brought my friend in and we were doing videos, but we were like, let's just make it an extension of the Instagram page. And that was it. Film Stocked. The way I found the name was I was just brainstorming constantly film related names. I was like, what's a good one? And then, film stock, right? Like that's a thing. And so I was like, Film Stocked. It's like a play on words because I'm keeping people stocked up on film and TV content. And so, I thought it was a cool play on words. I searched the internet to make sure no one else had that name. And then I ran with it. And now it's more just like, just keep me stocked up on film and TV stuff. And film, a lot of movie pages, it's like you can cover movies and shows. They fall under the same umbrella. So film and TV stock doesn't have a good ring to it. You know what I mean? But that's where it came from many a moons ago. Let's see. My brother, I believe, says, when's the World of the Worlds review? Oh, man. Oh, brother. I am pretty confident this movie has a 0% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, which is abysmal. I've seen clips from it, and I saw a clip on TikTok, and the clip was like Ice Cube on a Zoom call, and it looked awful. It looked like if I were to hop on a Zoom call with like 3 people right now and screen record it and post it as an official movie for a streaming service. So it was awful. Ugh. So I'm not watching it probably, but I may, just for the memes, honestly, for the joke of it all, just to be a part of the conversation. I've had people reach out. My buddy Jacob Starcourt, he texted me, or I don't know if he watched it or not, but he said that he saw it was abysmal. And we actually have a cameo from Indy real quick. There he is. That's my baby. Look at him. Was he chilling?
He was just sitting when I came back from the store.
Paw kiss. He's such a big boy. He said, I'm going to bathe for you guys. He's like, I'm on camera.
He said, oh shit. Act natural, Indy.
He said, I can't do that. I see myself in the reflection. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, no review of War of the Worlds coming. Oh man, that's too funny though. And Movie Fan 2002 says, Chris, did you see the behind the scenes look at Wicked for Good? This is a good one for Cam to answer since she's in here. Yeah, we watched it. It looks. I mean, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I'm pretty confident. I'm not the play aficionado that you are with Wicked, but I've heard it's going to enhance it.
It's going to be really cool, I think, because the featurette made it seem like they're really focusing on intertwining the Wizard of Oz story into it, whereas the play kind of just ignores it. So, not ignores it, but they acknowledge that it's happening at the same time. You just like never even see Dorothy. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, it's coming out in a few months, and Indy says he's excited. You want to come see it?
In a Wicked shirt right now.
Yeah. Does Indy want to come see the movie with us?
Yes, he does.
Oh man, could you imagine? He'd be anxious in that theater for sure. But yeah, I saw this featurette. I watched it. It was like 3 minutes. I like when movies do that. Like I like when it's basically like a behind the scenes teaser that we got for Stranger Things, except they actually showed official HD footage that was like polished. That's going to be in the movie. So yeah, I saw that. Very, very excited for that movie. Sprite Zero Break. All right. I gotta find where I was in the chat because I'm bad at losing my spot, unfortunately. All right, we're gonna find where I was and we're gonna run it. All right, I was right here. We're gonna run a little speed round. Favorite film this year? I don't even have an answer for you right now. I've seen I think 35, and I don't even know. I don't actually know right now fully confidently. Who's my favorite hero in Thunderbolts? I go Yelena probably, but Red Guardian is up there as well. Can't forget Bucky either. Watching this from my 5-hour driving course. Well, hopefully it makes the time go by fast. Those are very boring from what I remember. Yeah, like I think we had to do 6 of them where we sat in a classroom for like 30 hours or something really crazy. And basically we're just talked to about how to drive as opposed to actually having to drive behind a car, which was nuts. All right, let's see. Do you think Will is going to gain his powers by reliving his time in the Upside Down, or will he just remember? I think it's going to be a combo of both. I think there's going to be some flashbacks involved, and he's going to slowly piece together that he's got the abilities. We'll see, though. Sarthi, it says Stranger Things 2.8 or 2.9. So which episode do I prefer? Ooh, they both have pros and cons. I think damn. The finale, you get the snowball at the end. You with that nice little epilogue. You've got Elle closing the gate. Oh man, that's tough. I think I might have to, but the penultimate episode is like Bob's death and the craziness at Hawkins' lab. The whole gang at the buyer's house at the end when Elle pulls up. I don't know. I think I'll go 2.9 just for the snowball. Honestly. There's a lot of sweet moments there. Am I excited for part 2 of season 2 of Wednesday? Absolutely. Yeah, I am. I have a review of part 1 that's out now. Go check that out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this next part. It'll be here before we know it, pretty much. Do I think Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars will be a big event like Endgame was? A different type of event. I think that I've come to the realization finally that the casuals, meaning like people who would watch an MCU movie here and there, fully have lost interest at this point. And the numbers are starting to show that. The hardcores are always going to be around for the MCU. I would consider myself a hardcore because I've seen every movie. I've seen 90% of the shows. I got to finish She-Hulk. I've seen like 4 episodes of it, and I got to watch Ironheart. But I've seen most of the projects in the MCU. And so yeah, I would say that it started to become homework for a lot of people. And look, I think I was, with my predictions this year, which I'll revisit at the end of the year, for box office, I was off on all 3 MCU movies. I put too much faith in them. And I think that's coming off the success of Deadpool and Wolverine. That's coming off the success of Guardians 3. That's coming off the success of Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home. But all of those movies, especially No Way Home and Deadpool, brought back characters and were these events. And then Multiverse of Madness did the same thing because there was hype about the X-Men and all that. And then, of course, you've got Guardians being a Guardians movie that is the ending to characters who'd been around since 2014. There was just less interest in the 3 films this year. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to do really well. I think Doomsday is going to do solid to really well. Also, I'm pretty confident it still does $1 billion. It's an Avengers movie. That branding it's got a worldwide appeal. And people went and saw Infinity War and Endgame who didn't even know what was going on. They just were like, oh, an Avengers movie. I got to be part of the conversation. So we'll see. I don't think they'll be as big of events because they're not the culmination. They're the beginning in a way. Sort of, right? And so they're launching us to a new chapter. The others were like the end, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep it going here in the chat. Lindsay asks, will you be doing Stranger Things Season 5 reaction vids? I plan to. Certainly plan to. Which suit do I prefer, Toby or Tom? Toby, guys. I love the raised webbing. If you're the new Tom suit, I might still even prefer Toby's. Toby's is clean. And that's nostalgia as well, by the way. But yeah, I'm a big Toby fan. Toby movies are my favorite iteration, like favorite run of movies from one of the actors. Marvin says, do I watch K-pop? I have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters. I know that's a big trendy movie right now. I haven't seen it. All right. Clemson beats Georgia this year. I think K is that guy. Well, they don't actually play each other, but if they meet in the playoffs, then they could play. Or in a bowl game outside of the playoffs. I don't think that's going to be the case for either team. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean, they're not scheduled to play each other. But the last 3 times, actually, Clemson has played Georgia, Clemson has lost. So 2014, 2021, 2024, they've lost every single time. So I don't know, Jim. All right. Predictions. Nash asks for when we get the next Stranger Things trailer. I think Stranger Things Day is a really good safe bet. That's 3 months from today. It's about 20 days before Stranger Things season 5 hits Netflix. That's probably a pretty good bet. And so we'll see. October, November is kind of where I'm at with my prediction, though. October to November. Callan with a super chat. Thank you so much. Do I think Enid will die on Wednesday? Well, here's the deal. I told people I wouldn't spoil anything, so I can't even address this yet. But coming into the season, she certainly looked like she was not safe. And they let you know, I'd say within the first episode, that no one is safe in this new season of Wednesday. And they do a good job of having high stakes in that sense throughout the entire thing. And so I won't say if she lives or dies or any of that because I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm curious to see where they head in this next part. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. No spoilers, of course, but hey, stay tuned. If you guys want to see a spoiler talk, I may do one. I think I did a whole regular review. If you want my spoiler review, I could maybe do that tomorrow. All right. Ghostface, hello there. Thank you for being in here. Squid Game or Wednesday? Well, Squid Game came to an end. Wednesday's still going. We only have 12 episodes of Wednesday, technically. I mean, I lean Squid Game just because we have seen more of it. It's come to an end, and I thought it stuck the landing, so it's almost unfair to compare the two. But even if we're going season 1, I think I'd take Squid Game season 1 over Wednesday season 1. How to rank TASM 2, and Spider-Man 3? I put Spider-Man 3 at the top of that list. I'm a huge, again, Raimi trilogy fan. Boy, almost a fanboy, I'd say. I don't know, maybe I am. But the memes that movie provides, obviously unmatched, but at the same time, I think that it's an underrated story of redemption. The villains in that film, it's, at least Sandman, highly underrated, underappreciated. You're about to hear a loud noise. I'm going to mute really quickly because there's a train coming, but I'm going to take a sip of this and I'll get right back to the question. Hopefully that's the worst of it. So I go Spider-Man 3, TASM 2 at the bottom. I actually prefer TASM 2, which may be a hot take. It may be. I think TASM's a very strong origin story. All right. Georgia will always own the Vols. Last time they lost to him was 2016. I'm actually going to that game this year. And it's not in Athens. It's in Tennessee. I'll be in enemy territory. Whoo! That'll be wild. What's my favorite Funko Pop that I own? This Duffer one is on display for a reason. I love the Duffers. it's tough because I have autographed ones that are way better because of the autograph. In terms of actual design of Funko, there's one I have. There's one I have of Will in the Upside Down where he's actually upside down. Like, so his head is where his feet should be. Like, basically flip that over, but that's how it comes in the box. There's some Iron Man ones up here that are really cool. Like this right here is the Mark 1 suit. I think that's a slept-on Funko for sure. Do I watch any network TV shows or procedurals? I watched a lot of network TV growing up. I'm talking the CBS shows like NCIS Los Angeles, Hawaii Five-0. Scorpion was one that I watched for a bit when that was on. There was a show that got canceled called Human Target, I believe. It was on Fox. Watched some of that growing up. Yeah, Blue Bloods I watched growing up. So there were a lot of those shows that I watched. I haven't seen in years, but I've seen my fair share of them. And then Cam, one of her rotational shows that she throws on here and there is Criminal Minds. And so I've seen some Criminal Minds over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's not half bad. Honestly, it isn't. Okay. Yeah, the good old Ice Cube film, the good old War of the Worlds. Apparently, it's unwatchable. Best film score of all time. Not recency bias. Swear to God, not recency bias. It's arguably Oppenheimer. Ludwig Göransson's Oppenheimer score, arguably. All time, I mean, I tend to lean more modern scores because I think there's been an advancement in what is possible with music in the digital era. Like the Social Network score, for example, is not something you could be capable of hearing in 1950. That's one of my favorite scores of all time. I would say those, I mean, there's best and then there's like most iconic, right? Like I think Star Wars is the most, maybe one of the most iconic pieces of music ever. Jurassic Park, like half of John Williams' scores are some of the most iconic ever. Best though, I mean, truly, I think Oppenheimer's in that conversation. Inception, like a lot of Nolan films are in that. A lot of people would say Interstellar. I mean, you could go all the way back to Ennio Morricone for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. It depends on the context. But I would say I would argue that Ludwig's score for Oppenheimer is in that conversation for me. Yeah, I saw that a new Spike Lee joint is coming out, Highest to Lowest. I haven't seen the trailer, but I think it drops in theaters next week and then streaming in September, I want to say. Heidi with the super chat. Thank you. Heidi says, recently became a patron. Well, welcome to the Patreon community. And really enjoying Stranger Things Rewind. Do you think you'll make Stranger Things content after season 5 is done? Yes, I will. I'm going to do a ton of January content where I'm talking about final rankings, right? So every episode, every character ranked, every episode, every season, bunch of like final ending videos. And then I'll talk about potential spinoffs and anything in the world of Stranger Things I will cover 1,000,000%. And they're going to do spinoffs and they're going to get the ball rolling on those pretty quickly. So yeah, of course I'll cover everything in the world of Stranger Things forever. It's my favorite show. I will continue to cover it to the end of time. And maybe, you never know, we could get a Better Call Saul situation, right? Breaking Bad came out. It was the end of an era. And Better Call Saul runs for 6 seasons and is maybe better. Like we could get a Stranger Things spinoff, live action, that matches it. You never know. Anything's possible. So we shall see. But yes, I plan to keep making Stranger Things content. Maybe not as frequently because there might not be as much to discuss. But you know, it'll be another off season just for a little bit. So yeah, there's tons of other stuff to discuss though too. Like just in the stream alone, we've talked about Wednesday, Squid Game, Marvel, all these things. My channel's always been all sorts of things. Stranger Things is a huge part of it. But it was built on movie related news and shows, and it will continue to be about that. So I'm looking forward to whatever is in store in the post Stranger Things era. But of course, I'm gonna miss the hell out of it. What's your favorite Squid Game season, and who's your favorite character? My favorite character is player 456 Yihoon. My favorite season is season 1. I think season 1 could have ended the show, right? It was a perfect one-off. 2 and 3 gave us awesome moments. I even like the way they ended the show, which I know is a moderately hot take. But I would say season 1 is my favorite season. And my favorite character is player 456. How would I rank the upcoming Phase 6 movies based on my excitement? Brand New Day, Doomsday, Secret Wars. Let me take a sip of my Sprite Zero, and then I'll let you know. Delicious stuff. Brand New Day is number one. And you know why? Because it's the one I'm the most confident in. It's the one that I've wanted for the longest. It's the one we've known about for the longest. It's the fourth Spider-Man movie in the MCU. Tom Holland's back. Zendaya's back. You've got Sadie Sink in the cast. Bernthal's Punisher, Hulk, Scorpion coming back. I mean, there is a lot to be excited about. Destin Daniel Cretton has proven he can direct great action in the MCU. That's gonna, and then there's what we've seen with the suit, practical stunts. Like I said earlier, I think to start the stream, it's trending up. I really am looking forward to that movie, and so that's number one for me. Then I would go. Let's see. I think after that I would go Doomsday because it's the next movie. And then I would say Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is so far away, it feels fake. Secret Wars feels like it's never going to happen at this point. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to all three. Spider-Man Brand New Day is the one I'm the most excited for, however. All right. I was somewhere in the chat, damn it, and I lost my spot. What's new? There I was. We actually have a super chat. We got another super chat from Nate Plays. Thank you, Nate. I love the puppy in the profile picture. When do you think runtimes will be revealed and posters? Maybe we get one in October? Keep up the great work, love videos. I appreciate that, Nate. Thank you for the super chat. I would say, Nate, that posters... Yeah, man, I would say November. Stranger Things days when they're going to go real ham. That's probably where we're going to get those character posters, if I had to guess. Runtimes, I don't think we're going to get revealed until like the day before. I don't think that's something they're going to reveal that far in advance. And I could be way off there. But I just think those runtimes are going to be, we'll find out when we hit play on Netflix. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So yeah, I don't know though, that could be within the week of release, but I doubt they're going to reveal runtimes too far out in advance. And in terms of posters, for character posters, definitely we're going to get those in November, if I had to guess. They're going to save some goodies for Stranger Things Day. This is the last Stranger Things Day leading up to a new season of the show. That's why I'm kind of leaning we're getting the trailer that day. It's 3 months from today. But I know they also might want to drop another teaser of sorts before then, so we'll see. We shall see. Great questions, though, and I appreciate the super chats. Okay. Yes, Nash. I think Vecna's face will be redesigned. We can see in the poster they have part of his eye covered. I think he's going to have a different eye. Looks like there's maybe some horns there. Very excited to see what's in store for the I was reading Denzel in the chat. The Denzel redesign. The Vecna redesign. Hey Chris, have you had any bad experiences in a movie theater lately? I had a bad experience recently when the fire alarm went off falsely. I DM'd my local theater and said it was a malfunction. Yeah, I haven't had a bad one that really stands out in a while, thankfully. But I have had them in the past few years, big time. I can't think of one off the top of my head, thankfully. So that's my answer. No, and I'm appreciative of that. Now that I say that, the next time I go, someone will be an asshole probably in the theater. Am I going to see Godzilla X Kong Supernova? No plans to as of now. But you never know. I ended up watching the last one. I was like, I'm not going to see it, and I ended up going anyway. So we'll see. We shall see. Ooh. Why no Diet Dr. Pepper? I didn't want caffeine. This has no caffeine in it. I didn't want caffeine because I didn't want to be up too late. Okay. Favorite Fear Street trilogy movie is Fear Street's 1978, the second one. Banger of a movie. I watched actually every Fear Street movie on my Patreon, and I did commentary tracks so you guys can watch along with me. This was back in May. So like you guys pull up the movie, and then I establish a sync point, and I hit 3, 2, 1 play, and you can like watch the movie, and I'll be speaking over the movie as if we're watching it together. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. So that's on Patreon if you're interested. Favorite Star Wars movie? The OG. 1977, A New Hope. Best cold drink after a long hot day. I'll go with the staple for me. I'll go Mountain or just Blue Powerade. I think it's called Mountain Blue Blast at some point. The technical name, Blue Powerade, ice cold Blue Powerade after a long day. Any more though, guys? The Gatorade Zeros, the grape Gatorade Zeros hit different. Grape Powerade as well, or just lemon lime. Whew, good stuff. Gavin with another heater question says, at what point did you stop rooting for Walter White? For me, it was the final frame of season 4. Great question, man. I would argue the same, actually. I think that at that point, it was like, oh, and I'd say even in the early goings of 5, it was like, okay, I gotta like readjust my analysis of the show. I don't know the exact moment. It was a slow turn, and that's the brilliance of Breaking Bad. But by the end, you're kind of like, F this guy. It's impressive, really. Yeah, the final moments of that season certainly played a hand in that. But I'm trying to think of early, because it's been a few years, a hot minute almost since I rewatched Breaking Bad. But yeah, man, the end of 4 and into early 5, there's a certain character's fate who he kind of, I don't want to spoil the show. I know that it's an old show now to people, but yeah, there are certain things he does that he's aware of. It's like, that's just sick. That's gross. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same ballpark as you. I need to rewatch Breaking Bad. I want to do a Breaking Bad into Better Call Saul marathon, like, because I think just watching them back to back would hit different. All right, we'll probably go a little long. I mean, we'll keep this thing going. I mean, we're having fun. Why not? Thank you for the super chat. If you have a question attached to it, let me know. All right, and we'll keep this thing going. We'll go a little longer here. Why not? I already answered this one, so there we go. Am I team Ajax or Bruno? See, I didn't even realize these were being pitted against each other, but I guess they are now that I think about it. It's tough. And this is for Wednesday, for people who are like, what is this referring to? I mean, at the end of the day, shoot, this is tough. I would say I like Ajax more as a character, obviously, than Bruno. And I like Ajax, and I think I like Ajax more. Right now. I think I'd go Ajax. I'm Ajax. I don't know what the ship names are, but yeah, that's what I'd say. I have a full review out, Danny, right now, but I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the new part of the show. Subbed on Patreon a few days ago. Love the content. Thank you. Hey, thank you for being a patron. And anyone in here is a Patreon member, a patron, if you will. I appreciate you guys greatly. We've got a lot of fun things coming with Stranger Things Rewind. And also, I recently did a filming locations vlog, and it was exclusive to Patreon. And I was making a list. There are some locations that I haven't been to that I'm like, I need to I've been to in my life because there are locations near me growing up, but I haven't been specifically to parts of them. And I was like, I need to do something about that. So something might be in the works down the line for that as well. I prefer Squid Game to Wednesday, but I really enjoy both. They're so different, vastly different. Cold Storage. Yeah, Cold Storage is an upcoming movie with Joe Keery in it. And I think Liam Neeson. I saw they dropped a trailer. I have not watched that trailer yet, though. Favorite Training Season 5 episode title, The Right Side Up. Or Escape from Camazotz. One of those two. And again, Super Chat's the way to go to guarantee I get your question. I'm seeing there's a lot of repeats here. I'll get to as many as I can. Ooh, Leanna with a question. Keep Watch Burn, A's Edition, Back to the Future, E.T., Goonies. Okay. I don't know if it's going to ruffle feathers or not. I'm burning Goonies. Goonies is a movie I've seen once, didn't grow up with. It's the one I'm fine getting rid of. So I'll burn Goonies. I will keep Back to the Future because I got to watch that as much as possible. And E.T. I will watch once. Yes, Indy Cat is my baby boy. That's my cat, Indy. He's the man. Let's see. Fantastic Four, Superman. I prefer Superman, but I think both movies I'm positive on both. Have you seen Abbott Elementary? I've seen episodes. I have seen the Abbott and Sunny crossover eps, both of them. The one that Sunny did and the one that Abbott did as well. What is your personal Mount Rushmore of Pixar movies? Damn good question. Damn good question. So I'm going to say for this, personal. And I'm glad you put personal because that means like my 4. Because if I were going based on like objective achievement, that would be a different list. Like Toy Story 1 would be on there because it's the one that introduced us to the world. That won't be on mine, but it could be. I'm going to say my Mount Rushmore in no order, okay, is going to be Monsters, Inc., Toy Story 3, which I think is the best of those 4, Ratatouille, and I will also have to probably put The Incredibles on that list. Now, if I were to do the reverse and say, what is like the 4 Pixar movies, like the Pixar movies for people and like consensus, I'd go Toy Story, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Monsters, Inc. probably. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. All righty. Hello from the UK. Well, thank you for being in here. Appreciate you for being here. Wednesday has been renewed for season 3, thankfully. Glad to see that. Glad to see that, of course. All right. I'm going to Ohio State versus Penn State in the shoe. Well, hey, that should be a thrilling matchup. I believe is that the same day Georgia plays Florida? If my schedule is right in my head, it could be. Is that the first weekend of November? Let me know. Because usually those games are on similar days. Is Raiders still your favorite film? I think I'd have to say it's that or Back to the Future right now. One of those two, definitely. Favorite Timothée Chalamet movie? I don't even know. I don't even know like where he's in Interstellar technically. That might be mine. I'm probably forgetting some as well. Okay. Rumors are each episode is around 2 to 3 hours. Yes. So there was a fake graphic going around online of runtimes for season 5 that was shot down by Ross Duffer. But I did see what you're talking about. They were like 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Fake news. Detective Cobra with Super Chat. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Predator fan base. Badlands. Let's go. Yes. So in June, I finally watched all those movies. I'd only seen the first one. And I watched through all the others. And I adored Prey. Prey is my favorite. I am pumped for Badlands. That comes out in November. I will be sat. I'm very much looking forward to that movie. And I'm all in. I rewatched Alien Romulus the other week. Love it. It was a strong, 4 out of 5 for me initially. And the issues I had near the end, those are gone. It's a 9 out of 10 for me now. I love that movie. And so, yeah, I'm thinking Badlands is going to be hype. I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you for the Predator mention. Great franchise. Okay. Have you ever watched a movie that was so bad you walked out? I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie because it was so bad. I've contemplated, but I never actually committed to that, I don't think. But nowadays, if a movie stunk and it was like, I'm just done, like, yeah, I probably would consider leaving. But I haven't. I usually try and stick it out and finish a movie, even if it's awful. Okay. Go-to movie theater snack would be popcorn with Reese's Pieces in the popcorn and then a cherry icy. But I don't get that as much anymore. But that's a very, like, if I'm trying to splurge, that's what I go to. Best modern movie plot twist without spoiling it. I'll just say the movie. Modern, and how are we defining modern? Is that 2000 and onward, or is that within the last 10 years? And I'm going to take that to mean that from this century, because it's only been 25 years, and that's modern to me. I am going to go ahead and say Saw, which is an easy go-to for me. Detective Cobra with another super chat. Am I excited for one battle after another? I am. Of the remaining films to release this year, this is in my top 5 most anticipated. I would say I'd go Wicked for Good, Predator, Badlands, this, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson film starring Leo. I would then throw a bone to probably Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery would be on that list. And then I would probably say, I mean, that might be it right now. That it comes to mind immediately. Maybe Now You See Me 3. I need to watch the second one fully. Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane? I've always preferred Gwen Stacy. Shout out Emma Stone for portraying Gwen Stacy in the in the TASM movies. That is in the TASM movies. That is. Okay. Top 3 saddest deaths in Stranger Things. Great question, Wyatt. I would say, in no order, Eddie. Does Max count? Because I would say Max. And I think I will count Max because she technically dies. So I'll go Eddie, Max. Not Billy. I'm not going Bob. Bob is sad, though. I'm going Smirnoff. Yeah, Alexei Smirnoff. That hurts like hell. So I'm going with that one. Crazy to say. I follow you on Letterboxd. Thank you. Yeah, everyone follow me on Letterboxd if you haven't. It's at Filmstock. Movie Kid, have you picked up any good movies on Blu-ray or 4K lately? I was going to, so I was at a used movie store the other day, and I finally found Crazy Stupid Love on Blu-ray, which is a very random movie to want to buy. And I purchased it, and I left, and I got in my car, and I opened it, and there was no disc inside. And so I went back in, and they were like, oh, that's weird. That happens sometimes. So I did not, but I was going to purchase Crazy Stupid Love. That's one of my favorite like rom-com type movies. I was like, this is a fun one to own. And they didn't have the disc, so that was annoying. But in general, I'm trying to think of like in general. I haven't not in a hot minute. I got the Thunderbolts 4K, but that was sent to me. That's a sick the Steelbook. That's a really sick Steelbook. So that's my most recent pickup, I want to say, technically. Anyway, we'll go a couple more minutes here and wrap this up. So fire off your last minute questions here. Super chat them in if you've had one that I haven't been able to get to that I've missed. And we'll wrap this thing up. It's been a great stream, though, guys. Thanks for being here. And hit that like button, of course. If you're on the replay as well, hit that like button. If you're here live, we have 104 people in here. Let's get at least 100 likes. We can do it. I've not seen Dark, but it's been recommended to me by a lot of people. So I'm aware of it. I just haven't seen it. Someone asked, when are you going on the escape pod? Love the episode you can. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? We got into it. We did some Stranger Things trivia. I remember I was asked, I think, a question about Ratatouille, and it got some laughs out of people for sure. That was too funny when, the anyone can cook moment. Yeah, that was fun for sure. Fun times. I mean, they're out in LA. I'm in Georgia, so it's a haul to go out there, but you never know what could come up in the later months of this year. Favorite Liam Neeson film? Is it blasphemy to say The Phantom Menace? I think it probably is. I know he's done the Taken trilogy. He's technically in Ted 2. He's in Schindler's List. He's in The Naked Gun, the new one. He's in like The Gray, which I haven't seen. He's in a bunch of movies, but I really just think of Qui-Gon, which I know upsets a lot of people in the world probably. But he's Qui-Gon Jinn, man. I'm going with The Phantom Menace. Ooh, no shame either. No shame in running. Am I seeing Nobody 2? I do plan to. I will be out of town when the movie, or no, I won't. I'll be back. So yeah, I will see that hopefully. Yeah. I plan to. Favorite horror movie of the year? Let me look real quick because I don't want to forget anything, but I think it's probably Final Destination Bloodlines, which has gone up. I haven't increased my score. Oh, it's actually Companion. Companion is my favorite horror movie of the year. I gave that a 4 out of 5. So Companion's my favorite horror movie of the year. Really great twist. Of course, I kind of knew the twist because of marketing, but if I didn't, it would have been great. What's my favorite theme park? Ooh. I mean, I love Disney worlds, especially like Epcot, the older I've gotten with the food and the selection of drinks and all that. Like it's a great time. Something about, Universal Islands of Adventure, though. That one's been a lot of fun. The older I've gotten, I've appreciated Universal maybe even more than Disney. Which Pixar movie would suit itself best for live action, even though none of them should be? The Incredibles, for sure. That's like the easy pick for me. I think that it would basically just be the Fantastic Four, but hey, it would work, There's no super chat. Oh, there's no question attached, though. Do you have a question? Let me check. Do you have a question? Because I'll answer that. What is my Mount Rushmore of movies? There you go. That's the question. Of movies, that's so brutal. Is it because like I gave my top 4, but is that my Mount Rushmore? I'll answer this through a different lens, right? Movie, like the Mount Rushmore of movies in just existence, which is almost impossible to do. But I will put Star Wars on that list, the OG Star Wars that changed the movie going experience and blockbusters. I will put, and this is a more objective list, right? This isn't my personal list. So I go that. I would put, weirdly enough, no, I think I don't know. I'll just do my favorite 4. I'll do my Mount Rushmore movies, which is still probably going to have Star Wars on it. It's also going to have, you know what? No, I'll do the objective one that I was doing. Star Wars is one of the Mount Rushmore movies. I would say, I was thinking like a major throwback, like a movie like that, like if we're doing an objective list, we're thinking like 4 movies for eras and their influence on storytelling and filmmaking. That's kind of the view I'm going, right? So Star Wars launched us into sort of blockbuster films of the 80s and 90s. I think Jaws is on there as well for similar reasons, but that also it really changed the game for horror as well. I think Citizen Kane's on there for very obvious reasons. That's in terms of film history, that's when like movies became more not complex, but it's you know this it's non-linear in a sense, and it was first of its kind for its time. I don't care for the movie that much. I'm just saying. And then you probably got to put The Godfather. Very basic answers, but they're not my favorite movies. Again, I'm trying to think like what are like if there was an objective list of the 4, what would be on there? And I don't even know if I nailed that or not. There's probably others. That was just me trying to give an objective list. But my Mount Rushmore movies, I would say Back to the Future. I would go The Social Network. I would go The Lion King for an animated movie. And then I would put probably Raiders of the Lost Ark as well, which I know like my top 6 to 7 are always rotating. I have not seen Alice in Borderland, but I've heard really good things about it. Another super chat. What role will Mike have in season 5? I think Mike will embrace that leadership role that he's always meant to have. We see a shot of him jumping in front of some kids and protecting them. We see him having a shot where he's kind of looking at what we believe to be Vecna coming through a gate. He is on the walkie, burn commencing in 3, 2, 1. I think Mike's going to be a full-on leader, which will be really nice to see. We'll do a speed round to end the stream, and then we'll call it a stream. Have I seen Punch Drunk Love? Adam Sandler kills it in that movie. I have. I own it on Criterion, yeah, and it is a really great performance from him. It's one of PTA's underrated movies, or underappreciated, I feel. Mount Rushmore of movie franchises based on iconicity. Not sure if that's a word, lol. So based on how iconic they are, I mean, you got to go Harry Potter, Star Wars, the MCU as a whole, and Middle Earth. There you go. Gummy or chocolate candies? Give me chocolate. I prefer the chocolate over the fruit type of candies. Favorite Marvel movie? Infinity War from the MCU for sure. Spider-Man 1 is in the conversation for non-MCU films. Speaking of Spider-Man, what do I think about the new suit? I adore it. I have a recent update video out right now on that. Favorite sibling dynamic in Stranger Things? I think my favorite's probably Erica and Lucas, but I was talking about this on Rewind on Patreon, that the Jonathan Will sibling dynamic, I think Jonathan is probably the best sibling of them all. He's such a great older brother to Will. And then favorite Lord of the Rings film? I'm actually going to go Fellowship of the Ring, the one that started it all, Fellowship. Thoughts on Project Hail Mary? I haven't watched the trailer because I never read the book and I heard it's like spoilery, so I might just avoid the marketing if possible and watch it blindly. And then that would be awesome. That would be great. That would be fantastic, one could say. But I'll probably take 1 or 2 more questions and then wrap this thing up. So fire them off. If you got them, super chat them in if you want to guarantee I can get to it. And if you're here on the replay, thank you for watching. Hit that like button. If you hit that like button as well if you guys are in here right now. I'm a Hunger Games fan. I have read the first 2 books. I've seen every movie. I would consider myself a fan of the movies, definitely. Excited for the new one. I think they started filming today, I want to say. Favorite villain in the MCU? Ooh, Thanos is an easy pick. Goblin from No Way Home is great. I'll give you an underrated villain from the MCU. We'll go Wenwu from Shang-Chi. He's underrated, underappreciated for sure. Very strongly considering going to see this at some point in person. The first Shadow play, I think that would be delightful. Good to know if I watch the trailer, I won't watch the end. I will not watch the end. Alyssa says, are you excited for the Stranger Things 5? Absolutely. Cannot wait for the Season 5 Funko Pops. I have been waiting. They put out a new Stranger Things Funko Pop recently. It's Demogorgon on Fire. And I'm just like, I'm going hard for Season 5 Funko Pops. I'm going to have to get an entirely new shelf. Yes, I cannot wait for Season 5 merch, all that. I'm going hard. I'm going all out for the final season. And, I think that's a pretty good one to end the stream on. I think it is, guys. I think it's a good one to end the stream on. So thank you for that, Alyssa. But that does it for this stream. Went about an hour and 20 minutes today. Thank you, guys, if you stayed here the whole time. If you asked a question, if you sent a super chat, if you hit that like button, any of it, thank you so much for your support. Truly does mean the world. But that's going to do it. That really is. Shout out Olivia Rodrigo, by the way. No one mentioned that. I don't know if it was visible or not, but got to see her in person last year, which was sick. Shout out her. But anyway, that does it for this stream. I'm sweating. I didn't touch my water the entire time. I had a Sprite Zero the whole time. So that's all she wrote. Another great stream in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. Lots of exciting things coming. Check out my Wednesday review if you haven't already. I could probably do a spoiler talk review for that as well. But of course, lots of fun Stranger Things videos, movie-related videos. All that is coming very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. But that's going to do it for this live Q&A. Appreciate you guys for being here as always. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.